The topic for today is Agile Coach characteristics and models. Okay, so you all know Agile is a topic of growing importance. Nowadays, a lot of customers want their projects to be executed using Agile methodology, right? The reason is multifold, you all know, but as far as this particular character in Agile project is concerned, Agile Coach is a very new character. The reason being is nowadays, okay, there is a restriction. People think that when you talk about the Agile, there is only three roles: product owner, Scrum Master, team members. I am the project manager, I am the delivery manager, I am the program manager. Where is the role, right? So we started asking it, and that is this role, Agile Coach. But there is a difference between a project manager, program manager, account manager, or even the other role, whatever we are dealing with day in, day out. But we are going to see a few characteristics, right? How we grow ourselves as an Agile Coach. Look into the Agile numbers. Of course, this may not be new for a few of you who are already into the Agile projects. So this indicates the value of the Agile projects, right? In Agile, 42% of the Agile is successful. You may wonder, right? It's not 100%. It's not 95. It is not 80. The 42% of the Agile project is more successful. Believe me, that itself is something more than what you are looking for in an Agile project, right? The thing is, why I am showing this slide? So don't assume that no, if you are executing Agile project, it will be 100% successful, right? It is 45%. Believe me, that is more than what 80 other projects are doing, traditional projects are doing. And of course, the remaining 49% is challenge. I'm not saying it is a failure or it is a success. That is where we as an Agile Coach needs to play a lot of role, bringing that 49 into this 42. That is the role of a Agile Coach. The Agile as an engineering practices already make it 42%, right? So we need to play a role, making this 49 into 42. Of course, you also need to assume that still the 9% of the project is a failure, even after you acting as a Agile Coach. That's because of these numbers include a lot of bad Agile, right? There is a good Agile, there is a bad Agile, right? Just because you started executing the project in Agile does not mean that you are completely Agile. Okay? Few more numbers, interesting numbers on Agile projects. The thing is, 37% faster time to market. Believe me, that means more to our customers, right? And also 29% increase in quality. So that indicates that our quality expectation is not 100%. You understand what I'm saying? 29% increase means we are far below the expectations, and 22% higher productivity than a normal projects, and 31% increase in stakeholder satisfaction. We are not just talking about the customer satisfaction, right? So during the traditional project, we talk only about the customer satisfaction, customer expectations, customer requirements. But this talks about the entire stakeholders who are working in an Agile project. So 31% increase in stakeholders satisfaction, and employees are 2 times satisfied with their jobs than without Agile. That means your satisfaction is doubled. Don't ask me salary is doubled or your position is doubled. That's a different story. Satisfaction is doubled, okay? Because you are seeing the output in hand. The moment you see an output, right, you are more interested to work in, and thereby you also contribute more. So productivity also goes up, and your satisfaction also goes up, and stakeholder satisfaction also moves up. So that is fantastic numbers. And only thing is, one number I just actually embedded in. If you see that 40% of the project meets schedule, budget, and quality and goals. So don't ask me, is it successful or not successful? Again, it depends again your definition of the success. The thing is, Agile is both incremental and iterative in nature. This you as an Agile Coach needs to understand it. It's not just incremental. Most of us just execute the project in an incremental way and we call it as an Agile. It's not so. It needs to be both incremental and iterative in nature. You see the first model as a picture. A part of the picture is drawn completely. A part of the picture is drawn completely, and then you draw the next part completely, and then assemble all the parts, and you have a big monolith of picture. If you do that, that is called as incremental. Whereas the iteration, again part of the picture is drawn, but not completely. Only the skeleton is drawn. Having said that, in the iteration 2, again the second part is added, but the first part is getting fine-tuned. So you add something, you fine tune something. You add something and fine tune something. That is exactly is called as agile. So in order to get the best benefit out of agile project, right, you need to ensure that it is both incremental and iterative in nature. If any one of these fails, you will not get the benefit of agile. You can call it as an agile, but you will not get the benefit of agile. Okay. This spectrum of process complexity, that's what I talk about. The thing is, not all the candidates are good for agile. Okay. The thing is, if you see, look into the simple and complicated area, that's more good for traditional projects. So it's up to you as a manager or as a coach, as a practitioner, where your project stands for. I hope you all know, right? The first job of a manager is to choose the best life cycle model. If you're not doing it, please do so. Right? The first job. It's not just choose a team member or talk to the customer to get the requirements. Okay? So as soon as you understand what to be done, your first job is you need to choose the life cycle model, and then only you need to go ahead and choose your team and collect requirements, define scope, etc. etc. Right? Here, as soon as you know what is your life cycle model and where that project stands, you need to fix whether it is an agile or non-agile. So agile is a good candidate only for a complex regions. So don't try to execute a very simple project in agile and say agile fails. It's not agile fail, it's a you fail. It's not a problem with agile. Right? So agile is better suited for a complex area. Good. So this is what the agile role is all about. See how the agile coach, our topic today, is sitting. It's like a Brahma or Vishnu. It's like a god. You know why? Why he is sitting like this? So he needs to guard the entire team. That's the purpose. I put the word God. Does not mean that no. Don't ask me why you did not put Allah or Yesu. That's not the purpose. It's a God. Okay, you need to guard the team. That is the reason I put it. But you see how the project manager is sitting. Very relaxed. You know why? He has no role to play in agile project. Underline the word no role. But if he wants to play a role, he needs to become an agile coach, or he needs to play the role of the product owner, or at least he needs to play the role of the Scrum Master. Scrum Master is also another God, right? But God of God is agile coach. That's why I put him elevated. Right? So this particular slide is talking about the entire flow of agile. So you need to execute the project in this way. You need to have multiple team, and there should be a continuous integration. You see what is the customer is giving. Customer is continuously giving the requirements and to the product owner. Product owner is prioritizing the requirements and give it to the team. Right? So here, what makes agile work? That's what we need to look into it. Yeah? We'll move on. Yeah. So put it together. This is what there in the previous slide, right? Focus, courage. When you say courage, courage to fail, courage to open up something, courage to say yes, courage to say no. Believe me, that's a problem with the project manager. I'm talking about so-called traditional project manager. He goes out and talks to the customer and accepts everything because his promotion is at stake in the hands of the customer or his high. He will say and dump the team members. What the team member has no other choice, no, because again they are depending on the project manager. Instead of 8 hours per day, they work on 15 hours per day, but still the project fails because of the. Believe me, most of the project fails. It's not I'm telling. PMI tells based on the survey because of the reason of the project manager. Most of the project is successful also because of the project manager. Right? Or see, for example, the requirement is not captured properly. Whose problem is that? Don't say customer. It's the project manager. Why did it start? First of all, the project without capturing the correct requirement. Or at a particular point of time, it is your responsibility to stop the customer. Right? Don't proceed. We are going to fail. Give me the complete requirements. So most of the reason to answer your question for a project failure is project manager, right? So all the team members should be courage enough for it, and of course openness, we discussed it. Commitment. What is commitment? Do what you say what you do. That's commitment, right? That is very much required, not only for an agile coach, it's required for the entire team. And of course the last but not the least, because of all these things, you should not lose that respect. You need to give the respect to the team members, and it should happen mutually. So agile means, this is what we keep on discussing. No planning, no, it's not so. We do a lot of planning than in agile in traditional projects, right? No documentation, no. We do a documentation. We discuss it. And lacks discipline, it's no. In fact, we do a lot of disciplined work than non-traditional projects. And limited to co-located team, no, it's not so. Agile is more successful nowadays in a distributed environment. And open-ended, no, it's a closed. What do you mean by open-ended? It's a myth. What do you mean by open-ended?
Nothing structured kind of thing.
What?
Not concluded.
Not concluded. Okay. Any other thing?
Controlled by structure.
Yes. The thing is, a lot of people think that Agile means you can do whatever you want. When you talk about autonomy, autonomy does not mean that you do whatever you want, but we need to act within a kind of discipline manner. Right? We also have a set of, but the only thing is we will not have a full-fledged process like what you follow in a traditional projects. So, Agile coach, newish role introduced by Agile, not the same as a replacement for the project manager. We focus on relationships, listening, facilitation, and more like an Agile SME, and it is not about the products. Top 7 objectives of Agile coach. Now we know who is an Agile coach. So what is the objective? Why we are here? Right? What are you going to do? So an Agile coach coordinating individual contribution, moving towards a coaching for collaborations. So that is the first transformation. And then being a subject matter expert. Yes, he needs to be a subject matter expert, no doubt about it. But you also need to move towards being a facilitator for the team. That is very important. And being invested in a specific outcome, being invested in overall performance of the team. That is what some of you are asking. No? Output is different, outcome is different. And then comes the benefit. Right? So you need to concentrate more on the overall performance. Knowing the answer is not enough. What you need to do? You need to asking the team for the answer, or in other way, you need to teach the team how to get the answer. Right? So don't teach them how to fish. You all know, right? No? Don't give them the fish. Teach them how to make it. And just directing is not out. That is the project manager's job. Letting the team to find their own way. And it's not a matter of driving. You need to moving towards guiding. So this is a complete transformation job of a project manager role to a Agile coach role. So the thing is, these are all the different dimensions. By this time, I hope you all will be asking the question, are you being a teacher? No. Are you being a supporter? Yes. Are you being a guide? Yes. Are you a facilitator? The answer is yes. Sometimes you need to be a teacher. Sometimes you also need to be a facilitator. And the thing is, that is the difference between going from a college, going from a school days to a college, right? In college, we call it as in school days, we call them as a teacher. They tell you what to do, right? But whereas in the college days, we call them as a guide. PhD guide only we are calling, no? PhD we are not calling them as a teacher, right? They only give them the context, environment you need to go and you need to do on your own way, right? So you as an Agile coach need to have the transformation. And you see, you also need to be a collaborator and you also need to be a good reflector and motivator. So what we Agile coach needs to do? We need to be grow and also you need to be smart. Let's grow and let's be smart. Let's excel in our career as an Agile coach.